The origin of the creatures in the universe of A Quiet Place will be revealed. One of the most anticipated films this year, 2024, is the prequel to A Quiet Place, a movie that will reveal the fall of humanity facing a new extraterrestrial threat. In this video, we will be talking about everything you need to know about this prequel. Its story, when we can expect the first trailer, and when it will be released. And for more videos of your favorite series and movies, don't forget to subscribe to this channel. Welcome to the Oasis Geek. To understand what will happen in the new film of this universe, we must talk about the first two installments. Starting with A Quiet Place, released in 2018. In A Quiet Place, the Abbotts, a family composed of the mother Evelyn, the father Lee, a deaf daughter Reagan, and sons Marcus and Bo, struggle to survive in a post-apocalyptic world dominated by blind alien creatures, but with acute hearing and impenetrable armor. These beings have decimated much of the human population. The family lives on an isolated farm in the New York woods and has learned to survive by being extremely quiet, using sand trails, and communicating by sign language. This is how they have lived for years, searching the radio for signs of life and hoping for the best. Tragedy strikes when the family goes to the city for supplies. Bo, the youngest son, finds a space toy that makes noise, but Lee forbids it because of the danger it represents. However, Reagan returns the toy to Bo without the batteries, but he puts them back and ignites the toy, attracting one of the creatures, which kills him instantly. This scene was one of the most shocking in the first film and showed us just how dangerous these creatures can be. More than a year after Bo's death, life continues with stresses and challenges. Evelyn is pregnant, and one day while Lee and Marcus are fishing and Reagan visits Bo's grave, Evelyn goes into labor. In a moment of pain and distraction, she steps on a nail and breaks a picture frame, attracting the creatures. Despite her pain, she manages to give birth safely, thanks to the help of fireworks that Lee and Marcus use to distract the creatures and warn of their attack. Meanwhile, Reagan and Marcus face their own danger in a corn silo, where they accidentally discover that Reagan's hearing implant emits a noise that hurts the creatures. After a series of tense and dangerous events, including Lee's heroic sacrifice to save his children, the family is reunited at home. At the climax, they discover that the high-pitched noise of Reagan's implant is a weakness for the creatures. By amplifying this sound, they manage to expose the creature's weak spot, allowing Evelyn to kill it. Armed with this new knowledge, they prepare to face future attacks. This brings us to the second film of A Quiet Place, released in 2020. The Abbott family with Evelyn, their children Reagan, Marcus, and a baby, are looking for a safe place after losing their home. They come to an area where by accident they make noise, and this attracts creatures that hunt for sound. Reagan and Evelyn manage to save Marcus, who is injured in a trap. They find Emmett, an old friend, who lives in a hideout. Emmett, sad to have lost his family, at first doesn't want to help, but Reagan convinces him. Together they plan to send a special noise from a radio tower on an island, which can hurt the creatures. Meanwhile, Evelyn goes to get medicine, leaving Marcus and the baby in hiding. Emmett and Reagan face many dangers, including bandits on the way to the island. They discover that the creatures cannot swim, which is an advantage. They reach an island where people are living without fear of the creatures. But a creature arrives on the island and attacks. The movie ends with some very tense moments. Reagan uses the special sound to kill the creature on the island. Marcus, in another location, uses the same sound to save himself and the baby. The Abbott family now knows how to fight the creatures. These two movies have been focused on the story of this family after the apocalypse. But they haven't explained to us in detail what happened and how humanity was defeated in the first place, beyond clues in newsreels or newspaper clippings. Something that could change in the third installment, as it is a prequel that tries to explain to us the origin of these creatures and their effect on the planet. But what news do we have about this upcoming movie, A Quiet Place, Day 1? Directed by Michael Sarnowski, it is a prequel to the A Quiet Place universe. The film, scheduled for release on June 28, 2024, promises to be an exciting addition to the series, being the third installment. The story, created by John Krasinski and Sarnowski, centers on the original characters of Brian Woods and Scott Beck, taking viewers back to the beginning of the disturbing saga. The development of the film has been an interesting journey. Initially announced in November 2020 by Paramount Pictures, the film has gone through several changes. Jeff Nichols was originally on board to write and direct, based on a story by Krasinski, but dropped out of the project due to creative differences. Sarnowski took the reins on January 2022, injecting new life into the project. Principal filming began on February 6, 2003, in London, and concluded in April of the same year. This prequel promises to explore the origins of the desolate situation we saw in the first films, immersing viewers in the early days of the silent apocalypse. But what could we expect from this prequel story, which will show the origin of these creatures? A Quiet Place. Day 1 promises to unravel the mystery of the terrifying beings that have plagued the Earth. As revealed by John Krasinski, director of the previous films, these creatures originate from a lightless planet in a distant galaxy. A hellish world with much harsher conditions and a higher gravity than Earth. This hostile reality drove their evolution to develop characteristics such as reliance on echolocation rather than sight, incredibly tough armor, and greater strength under Earth's gravity. This is interesting because the movie may begin by showing us the planet of these creatures and how they discovered Earth. The creature's armor is so tough it can withstand all kinds of conventional human weaponry. From small firearms to missiles and bombs, their strength allows them to destroy steel and any hard object. In exchange for these advantages, they are completely blind, and their dense armor and musculature make them unable to swim, something that could be shown on film. In A Quiet Place, Day 1, we can expect it to explore how these devastating beings arrived on Earth. The film could show us the first moments of the impact on cities like Millbrook, Mexico, and Shanghai, where the asteroids with these creatures landed. We will see how the humans dealt with this initial threat, and how they discovered, as the Abbotts did, that sound is fatally attractive to these creatures. I have high expectations for this new installment, and hopefully, this will be the beginning of expanding even further into this universe. According to several rumors on the internet, we will have the trailer at the end of this month, and it would show us part of the origin of these creatures. But tell me, what do you think about all this? Would you like to see this movie? Do you think it will show the origin of these aliens? And for more videos of your favorite series and movies, don't forget to subscribe to this channel. You are on The Oasis Geek.